Hi guys, welcome to my channel, The Narcissist Guide. Thank you for tuning in today. I hope that you're having a good day. And for those of you who are going through healing, I hope that you're staying strong and that you're coping well. In today's episode, narcissists claiming to be empaths and 3 methods to uncover the truth. There is a special kind of narcissist, often referred to as the covert narcissist, that only loosely appears as a typical garden variety pathological narcissist. These are the hypersensitive and perceptive narcissists. This narcissist does a heck of a lot of image management and is usually extremely strategic in how to make their self look virtuous, generous, caring, and loving. This type of narcissist is aware of their ability to be hurt and wounded and knows they have some level of early childhood trauma they walk around with. They are particularly self-protective and hide behind their boundaries, which are a complex set of defenses, hoops to jump through, and requirements others should meet before they trust you and will get close to you. This type of narcissist is usually very smart and will search for an intellectual understanding of why they feel so harmed by the world, and also look for greater understanding in psychology and spirituality as a beacon of insulation from accountability for their relationship dramas and overall accountability. In the past years, I have observed many covert narcissists claim to be intuitive or extrasensory empaths as a way to explain their internal experience of sensitivity and astute perceptive awareness, and to claim a sense of spiritual, psychic, and interpersonal superiority over others. And because these people might be thoroughly delusional and convinced they are in fact empaths, others tend to believe them. I have a sneaking suspicion that in religious and spiritual communities, many gurus who are engaging in sexual, manipulative, or cult-like activities with students are covert narcissists. Truly, these type of people make it into all sorts of professions and roles, and in many ways perfect a positive persona while using it as a well-constructed shield to prevent their victims ever holding them fully accountable. So given this trend, what can we all do to determine if someone is in fact an empath versus a covert narcissist? Here are 3 methods to test whether someone is an empath or a covert narcissist. Number 1. Set and reset boundaries. To start, the best way to tell if someone is in fact an empath is to respectfully and calmly set boundaries and see how they react. Start saying no to them or showing dissidence publicly. This means disagree with them and let others know you are doing this. An empath, even if initially a little embarrassed and defensive, would consider if what they said or did was wrong, or how your perspective and experience could potentially be valid. They would give their energy to understanding you, rather than put their energy into changing your mind and managing their image. Frankly, if they respond with an effort to force you to agree, try to intimidate or embarrass you, or try to make you apologize for disagreeing, this is a very good sign they are not an empath. More on setting boundaries. When getting closer to an alleged empath romantically, notice the pace at which they want to get to know you, as well as in which ways they want to get to know you. Often, covert narcissists will push you for very quick emotional and sexual intimacy, despite your expressing you have a slower pace. If you start saying yes to things you always say no to, this is likely because of their expert manipulations are setting you up for losing your boundaries and thus manufacturing consent. If you express you keep having difficulty holding your boundaries, and despite them showing care and concern for your experience, you still find yourself in this situation, this is a huge signal someone is a narcissist. In fact, another big difference between narcissists and empaths is that narcissists of all types are extremely challenged in delaying gratification. They will organize their lives around as many types of instant gratification as they have the resources for, and will even depend heavily on others, affording them even greater access to instant gratification. So, if you say no to a covert narcissist and start to set boundaries, they will likely try to create a situation with urgency, or you having less capacity to say no, or explicitly try to convince you to drop the boundary so they can get their gratification as soon as possible. When they don't get the gratification they wanted on their own or from you, they will get frustrated and angry. An empath, on the other hand, would likely recalibrate and be willing to accept that gratification is not going to happen unless your needs are honored, and they may drop the plan altogether without much protest. Number 2. Watch what they do when you get angry and frustrated around them. An empath will immediately care about what has gotten you frustrated and angry. If they aren't already making themselves available to help, they will likely express something as a form of intermediate help and reassurance. You will likely feel soothed by the ways they respond to you and very much feel their presence with you. Even if a covert narcissist mimics the behaviors of an empath completely, there will be a way you subtly feel they don't understand, aren't present, or don't care. You will likely feel like their help or reassurance doesn't actually do much for you, and may even result in your feeling worse, and like you may need them even more for soothing and comfort. And if the covert narcissist hasn't learned to perfectly mimic an empath, you will see they start to become impatient, or are then triggered and somehow wounded by you being angry and frustrated. This is even if your anger and frustration isn't about them or your relationship with them. They may make you feel guilty for inconveniencing them, or for playing the victim, or for being too sensitive, while making you feel like all at once you still need them to help you see the light and to feel better. This, in plain speak, is them showing you whether they have actual, effectual empathy and not just intellectually constructed empathy. Trust your gut, as usually we all can tell if someone is feeling perhaps sympathy for us and feeding us a script versus actually feeling true empathy with us. Number 3, ask a lot of pointed questions about their spiritual purpose or general purpose on the planet. An empath may understand their purpose on this planet is to help people and to be a part of perhaps helping others heal, be happier and healthier. An empath may not be shy about stating this fact. A covert narcissist will also likely believe they have a special purpose for being on the planet, and may even derive a great amount of narcissistic supply from helping people, and thus find much fulfillment in a helping profession, or at least in framing their profession as a helpful one. The main difference is when you ask an empath questions about their path to be a healer or a helper to the human race, they usually will include information about their own healing path and how it had led them to where they are. They will also be careful to mention that they cannot cure or heal or help everyone. When you question a context where people are struggling and need help, that is beyond their scope of expertise or ability. A covert narcissist often instead portrays a rosy and exaggerated picture of their past success with helping, as well as in the way they envision helping people in the future. They also may paint a pretty and smooth picture of their past painful history and how they have overcome it. It may seem like they are claiming that with their sheer will and amazing ability, or the unique remedy or skill they encountered helped them basically become enlightened. Occasionally, a covert narcissist has an extremely well-curated persona of an empathic healer and will have a narrative that mimics an actual empath's story. But after asking enough questions, you will begin to see the holes in their narrative and start to see how shallow they actually are. Often, they will attempt to cut you off, disappear, or create a different conversation, situation, or drama to deflect your questions and attention so they can't be found out. I could tell about an exhaustive list of how to tell the difference between a skilled covert narcissist and an empath, but the points mentioned are a very good starter kit for anyone. Set boundaries, watch how they respond to your anger and frustration, and also observe how they identify with being a healer or helper and what they tend to reflect on about their journey to this role. Occasionally, a covert narcissist will find an article or video and use your or others' bad and less than empathic reactions to them as evidence you or the others are in fact the narcissist, are crazy, or simply don't understand them. These negative reactions you or others have are a normal response to getting tired of the narcissist antics and being repeatedly abused. Keep in mind that how you or others respond to people in all contexts, and especially in all past relationships, will say a lot about whether you or others are in fact the one who is the narcissist. If any person has a history of people tragically and repeatedly not understanding their empathic nature and lots of crazy narcissistic exes they refer to as they reference this video, this almost certainly confirms the person is a covert narcissist. Now, that is what I wanted to talk to you about today. The narcissist claiming to be empaths. It's a very interesting subject, and for those of you who have ever met this type of covert narcissist in your life, you notice that either you're an empath or a super empath, and they try to mimic you. They try to mimic you, and then they will try to portray themselves as empaths, while actually they are devils. They are minions of the devil. Notice you see these covert narcissists a lot being religious or very spiritual, they say or claim to be. And if they talk, they always talk in a victim way. And a true empath or a super empath will never ever want to be labeled as a victim, and they don't want to portray themselves as victims. They want to show you that they can overcome every trauma and pull themselves back up on their own power because they have the experience to do that. They are steeped in wisdom and they share their wisdom with others. And a covert narcissist will always play the victim. It's always the situation. It is always someone else's fault. It is always the mistake of others. It is always because of their parents or their trauma they have experienced in their childhood. In their stories, there's always a grain of truth. Okay, so, and they use that little grain of truth and build everything else around that little grain of truth. And the rest are just lies or blown up, or they forget very important events that actually did happen, but they don't mention it because it doesn't make them look good. Okay, it will make them look bad if they would mention it, because then their story will fall apart, and then you will see that they're telling you a lie or they're trying to selling you a lie. The covert narcissist is a snake. It's trash. Okay, I've said this before and I've mentioned it before, and it's just a fact. Okay, it's not even like, oh, maybe. No, they are trash. They are snakes. They are manipulative snakes. An empath will never mention how they have helped others, okay, if it's not needed. But the covert narcissist feels the need to always mention how they have helped other people, and they now never expect anything in return, blah de blah de blah. But when it comes to a situation where they need help, the covert narcissist will remind you how they have helped you. They will mention even a small thing they have given you years ago. They still remember. While an empath never expects anything in return when they give or when they share or when they help. Okay, a covert narcissist will always remind you of what they've done for you. Now, this covert narcissist who claims to be an empath will always come to you with big trouble, panic, chaos. Okay, their problems are always priority. They always have problems. They always have problems. It's not a one time or one thing, you know, it's their life. Their life is trouble, panic, problems, situations, drama. People who have empathic abilities, or people who are empaths, people who have feelings, will feel for this narcissist, because they're like, okay, this narcissist has a problem or an issue, and I have to try to help this narcissistic friend, family member, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. They know who to turn to when they have problems. They know who they have to call when they have issues or struggles or whatever, but they will never help you. So keep in mind, the covert narcissist will never help you. They will sometimes give something to you, and if they give to you, they always expect something in return. They will say that they don't. They will say explicitly, I'll never expect anything in return. But when an event takes place where they need your help, they will remind you, and they're gonna make you feel guilty. Well, you actually don't have to feel guilty, because if you have to look at how many times they have helped you, trust me, it's 0 or maybe 1 time, you know. But if you have to count the times you have helped this covert narcissist, you could write a book. It's endless. Okay, but they don't want to hear it, because if you have helped them, they will always downplay it. And notice, this covert narcissist is irresponsible. This covert narcissist is more than the average beautiful girl or handsome guy. They are obsessed with their beauty. They are obsessed with their makeup, with their appearance. They're just very extremely obsessive with that, because that's all they can offer. Their beauty, their so-called beauty. But from deep inside, they are dark. They are bitter. They are ugly. They are mean. They are bullies. They are jealous. They're always jealous of everyone and everything. Covert narcissists are delusional, okay? Covert narcissists create war in a peaceful community, okay? Where there's no need for war, the covert narcissist will create war. Where there is harmony, they will create chaos, destruction, panic, stress, okay? And covert narcissists are experts in gaslighting, triangulation, projection. They are the most sneakiest snakes you will ever meet. Now, that is the subject for today, guys. I hope that it was an interesting subject, and if it was, please subscribe to my channel, The Narcissist Guide on YouTube. Leave your comments in the comment box. I've seen a lot of you leaving your comments in the comment box, and I appreciate it very much. It is very useful for other people who are seeking for confirmation, or people who have been through the same and they are educating themselves on narcissism, narcissistic behavior. So thank you very much for listening today, and see you next time.